Most of Jordan Peterson's idea are garbage, and it's not because they are garbage literally. It's because the transfer of knowledge is flawed. You have to understand that not only his ideas are too generalistic, but also if he tried to give you better advice, you wouldn't be able to not really understand it. You wouldn't be able to comprehend it because you do not require just understanding. You require the experience. Most of the things that are true in your life do not apply to everyone else. And it is true for everybody else as well. Your truth, your effective truth, what I like to call effective truth, applicable truth, is dependent on your experience, your biology, and your upbringing. Everything in your life, all of the things that happened, all of the things that determined you to be in the way that you are, those are the rules. You have to understand that all of these things are just there to be discovered. You have to understand that that's the problem with generalistic advice. It is most often than not just garbage. And when you get specific, the problem is that most people do not have the experience required or the knowledge or whatever it is that's holding them back to hold that belief. Most people, when they form a belief, they just look if it makes sense and if it aligns with their experience and their knowledge about the world. And that's when they attach to those beliefs. What I'm saying is that that's completely wrong because you are limiting yourself to the experience that you have. In order to have beliefs that are outside of your experience, all you have to do is run experiments. But first of all, you have to believe that all of the ideas, no matter what source they come from, no matter if they come from you or from Jordan Peterson or from me, everything is bullshit. You have to understand that an idea that doesn't prove itself useful every single goddamn day, it's a useless idea. You cannot really hold ideas that are proved like a month ago if they're not consistently proving their worth. And trust me, almost everybody doesn't have ideas like that. Almost everybody doesn't have complex ideas that really prove their worth today and every single day. You are not really aware of these ideas and beliefs because they are so far removed from your day-to-day experience. And that's why most transfer of knowledge is useless. No matter how many times I tell you that momentum is the only way to do impossible things. What was impossible 2 months ago, today is possible because of the amount of momentum that you have, the amount of inertia you have in a certain direction. It is not about knowledge. It is not about beliefs. It is just about momentum. And no matter how many times I tell people that it is not about effort, it is more about risk. It is more about risk. You have to understand that most people want disproportional results. And the only way to have disproportional results is to assume more risk, calculated risk, because effort is always linear. There's always 24 hours in a day. And that is why you cannot have disproportional results when it comes to effort, only when it comes to risk. All you have to realize is that. And you see, I already told you the third belief, which is to hold your ideas to scrutiny and believe that they are always bullshit. All the ideas, all the beliefs, everything that comes from everybody else and everything that comes from you. You have to realize that that is the only way to come to effective truth, is by running experiments and really testing things out thousands of times to see the limits of those ideas. All of the ideas that I have in my mind, well, not all of them, because 99% of them are just bullshit, but just these three, the fact that every idea is bullshit unless it proves itself valuable each and every single day. The second one is momentum. If you have momentum, you have the ability to do impossible things that were previously impossible. And it's not about, the third one is not about effort. It is about risk. You are not understanding that most of the things, most of the results are not behind more work and more effort. They are behind more risk. Of course, calculated, logical risk. But you see, this transfer of knowledge is useful because you do not have the thousands of repetitions that have proven me right in those ideas. You have to understand that that's why Jordan Peterson's ideas are so generalistic. They just sound so boring and bland. And he tries to put such big words around them and stories and things and history and all of these things. It's because they are bland and boring and generalistic. And they make you feel like you're actually changing your life, but you're not. The only way to actually change what you believe is to get more experience. And the only way to do that is by running experiments, by doing momentum, by having enough momentum that it forces your mind to see the world as it is, as opposed to seeing the world like you want to see it. This is so powerful. Most people see the world like they want to see it, not like it is. You have to understand that effective truth, ideas that prove themselves every single day, that's where it is. It's not all of these things that you read in the books. It's not all of these things that you can just accept because they align with your beliefs and your experiences. No, it is only the things that you have tested thousands of times and survived every single test. Those are the things that you can keep and hold as truth. That is why I'm never worried about people and what they're gonna say about my ideas and how I present myself. I don't care. I really don't. Because I'm connected to the higher power. No. It's because those ideas are connected to thousands of proofs as opposed to just ideas that I hold. I don't really like these ideas. Trust me, if I had better ideas, I would just throw these ones away. But unfortunately, every single day, I try to disprove these ideas. They get proven more and more and more. It is impossible to get rid of them for now. But as soon as I do, I will tell you. Trust me, if you look at generalistic advice, always run this experiment. Is this generalistic advice? Do I believe this just because I have the experience to believe it? Does this make sense? And that's the only way that I accept a belief. If you run this experiment and you understand that you are unable to hold beliefs that would be absolutely crucial to your success, it is absolutely impossible for you to hold beliefs outside of your experience. It is absolutely impossible. So get the experience. Get tremendous amounts of experience in that direction, and the beliefs will come. But usually, they're worthless anyway. Like, understand that these three ideas are worthless. They are. Even these ideas are worthless. Because if I didn't do all of these experiments, I wouldn't be here. So it is not the holding of that belief that makes it useful. It's the application. Understand that if it's not effective truth or an effective belief, in other words, if it's not applicable, it's worthless. It is absolutely worthless. And even if you have it and it's applicable and you do not do anything with it, it is still useless. Understand that. That's why almost every guru, every idea that you encounter is bullshit. Not only Jordan Peterson, but most of the people. You have to understand that most beliefs and most ideas require experience in order to hold them. And most of the things that will actually change your life, you do not have the experience to hold those beliefs. No matter how much you try to fake it till you make it, no matter how much you try tricks and tips, just this miracle pill, and you will hold and do whatever you want, this interesting strategy and technique and whatever it is. No, it is always about experience. In order to change your life, you have to gather more evidence for that new life, for that new belief, for whatever it is. But understand that this is still a logical fallacy. Understand that by gathering evidence continuously every single day, you also decrease the chance of doing something better, of gathering evidence for something better. Always be open. And the only way to be open is to do the third thing, which is to believe that everything is bullshit. Of everything. There is nothing, no belief, no idea, nothing that cannot be replaced. So understand that faced with overwhelming evidence, most people will not change their minds because they do not have the experience needed to change, to hold any other beliefs. Understand that that's why it's so ineffective to have a transfer of knowledge. Because in order to hold the beliefs that I have and the results that I have, that changed my life tremendously, you would effectively have to do the same things that I did, which is do thousands of repetitions to prove these ideas either right or wrong. And first of all, I wasn't even aware of these ideas. They just emerged. Some of them I tried to see if they're true. And at some point, they proved themselves true. I've seen the results. Let's see what happens. Run the experiments. Let's see what happens if I do this exact thing. And once I did, soon enough, 2 months, 3 months later, I was like, oh my God. Just running this experiment and not knowing this has opened up a belief that is so great and so amazing that can really change my life. That one belief about effort and risk has truly changed everything. Everything. All of my results are so much better because I understand that it is not about effort. It is not about working more. It is how do you manage risk so that you have a tremendous upside and a very minimum downside. That's the point. You have to understand that once you find that idea by running the experiments, your life will change drastically, super fast. But unfortunately, that's not how people work. Most people hold beliefs, and they can only hold beliefs that they have experience for. What I'm telling you is that it is almost impossible to hold any other beliefs that run against the experience that you have. The only way to hold beliefs that might help you tremendously is to run the experiment and get the experience needed to hold that belief. But if you don't gather the experience and it doesn't apply to you, stop the experiment. And that's the point. That's why most ideas are bullshit. Because if you agree with Jordan Peterson, it's because you already have the experience to hold those beliefs. That's why those beliefs are almost useless. because they're so general, so generalistic that they don't change your life at all. They really don't change your life at all. They have such incremental improvements. You might feel okay that, sure, I'm going to give him this. It might change your life 1%. But you have to understand that if you want 10x, 100x change in your life, those ideas are not going to help you at all. They're not going to have disproportional results. And trust me, everybody wants disproportional results. To have disproportional results, you have to run experiments that give you more experience, that in turn give you better beliefs that can be applied to more areas of your life. That is the only way to actually transfer knowledge. It is not by agreeing with something. It is not by just accepting a belief that sounds good, just accepting a story. No, what I urge you to do is test things tremendously, thousands of repetitions, because that's what it takes to actually come up with ideas that are effective truth, applicable beliefs.